To prepare for this tour, we made sure all our gear was in place. We had the right adapters to actually adapt to the power here. The voltage is different and stuff.
I had to throw off a bunch of t-shirts and pants that I was planning on wearing
All right.
because there was no place left with all our equipment.
Yeah. So we prepared for, well, we prepared for 6 months, piece by piece to get ready for the tour, and but we still don't know. We're 3 days in. We don't know what to expect. The start has been pretty awesome, and we couldn't ask for more. More of a mental thing when you're going out to play for a new audience. You get together and you prepare your set, and you think of songs, you think of your music, where it's at.
I mean, say like 6 months in getting your visa done, clear.
That's part of the
arranging the
preparation
rest
as
of
well.
the documents what you need to for what you needed for this thing. And I think, and even planning the gigs around this month. So all the gigs we have been we pre-planned, and that's how it got.
Yeah, so we had like a back and forth calls with Chet and Gokul. Chet is back in Toronto here. So we kept in touch and discussed about the gigs and everything. So
I think every 2 weeks or so we had like a Skype call with him, and then we went through everything that was being planned, that was getting cancelled, everything that was forming for this tour as we went along, and we had a lot of brainstorming sessions of what what we should do when we get here, how to go about the 3 or 4 weeks that we have in Toronto, and he just kept feeding us more and more information, and we kept taking it in. We wrote it down. We had Excel sheets, the whole deal. Yeah,
A lot of pre-planning happened
Yeah.
before this tours. I think the basic part for us being a guitar player, carry extra string sets, and carry your spare guitars, like if they might break.
no, I think we did a tour back in India, and we did a South India tour. So we went to like 4 cities, 4 to 5 cities in a small van, and within a week. And I think the worst part was that we took a detour when we had to like just travel for like 200 kilometers, and we ended up like traveling like 500. Like yeah.
Things are always a little bit fun when you least expect it somehow. But when you're on a tour, these are, some instances where after a long day, it's nice to find yourself someplace unexpected.
There's
somehow.
no fun without adventure on the tour. So
There's
yeah.
no fun without adventure, such.
Well, every tour has a certain requirement. It depends how you're going to be traveling. Are you going to be taking flights? Are you going to be in the back of a van? Are you going to do a mix of the two? So but most of all, like I said before, be mentally prepared for anything. At each of the gigs that you're going to be playing, it's going to depend on the venue, it's going to depend on the acoustics of the place, it's going to depend on the crew that is working there, it's going to depend on the organizer. There's a lot of variables that go into each show, so you got to be prepared to tackle all of that, and also expect, like, yeah, things might break down, somebody might not show up on time, so you got to account for all of that, and backtrack and reverse engineer the whole thing, and be ready, and most of all, be ready with your
Stay
music.
healthy, man.
And stay healthy.
Basically stay healthy. So if we are here for a month, we need to eat good food, and keep ourselves, away
Yeah,
from
like,
certain things.
the
so
whole
that
plan was to like come here healthy, and I had fallen sick on the flight, and like I had a fever, and yeah, things don't go right, but I think it's most important you stay healthy, and
staying healthy, and like
Stay in shape.
the fun part for us is like going outside our country and playing to a new audience. So it's really interesting because you get to know what they feel about our music. What will be their reaction for our kind of music. And so far it's just been one show and a shoot we did at Fat Lab Studios. So more to come, and I think it's been great so far.
Who does the marketing for the band, guys?
I think for a band and for any musician, the most time spent should be on making music. And then thinking about how do you market yourself. Like you give your ideas, maybe this will work over here or this will work over there, but basically concentration on music should be the top priority. Yeah, and then let the management take care.
More than mentors, we've had friends and fellow musicians who have shown us the way, or if rather than maybe they've tackled something before and then told us about it, and then we've been prepared for it. And yeah, we bounce our ideas off of our friends, off of fellow musicians mostly, and plus everybody, I think personally, would have somebody who's doesn't need to be a musician.
We've
A
all
friend, somebody.
perhaps looked up to different people as musical influences, but
Yeah.
as a band, they've, like Sachin said, there are friends who have helped give us like
The right ideas and
right ideas at
help
the
us
right time.
take some tough decisions sometimes.
There are quite a lot of bands, senior bands. I mean, they've been there for a really long time, and it's seeing them. They have been in times where there was no internet and everything, and and
So they would chip in with like, guys, why don't you try, playing here, or why don't you try?
exactly. So it's like it's more of like learning from them.
There's a band called Soratma back from India. They told us early on how they had delegated work amongst themselves. Like you asked us about marketing right now, and back in 2011 we did not know how we would go about that. So the easiest answer to that was given to me by Jishnu, who's the bass player for Soratma, and he said just divide the work amongst yourselves. One guy can handle the social media, one guy can handle probably printing of merch, and somebody else can do something else, and you just divide that work and it'll be less a burden for each of you, but as a whole you'll be able to make this thing move smoothly.
There's also this band called Tamil and a Quarter. I mean, they toured Edinburgh last year. Yeah, the festival.
Probably a couple of years ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 years back. So after we got to know that we are going to be coming to Canada, so just went back to them and asked few questions about how does it work.
They did 30 shows in 30 days.
Yeah, they did like 30 shows in 30 days. No, I think they did 40 shows.
40 shows in 30 days.
Yeah, so and they need to like sell their own tickets for the shows, and
Yeah, that gave us this idea that whenever we get to go out, it's going to be a different scene altogether than what we have in India. The first album was crowdfunded. The Baran album was
It's a crowdfunded
through
album,
through
like,
this platform called
Wishberry.
wishberry.in, and they sent us whatever they could, and it helped us get through the production of it. So they are devoted.
So
I
we
mean,
ran
that's-
we ran a
that's great
3-month
example of it.
campaign, and like whatever our goals were and like to achieve in money wise was achieved in 3 months. So like you show, that's how you get to know about your fans, how they are dedicated, and in that thing you reward them with an album.
Yeah. And apart from that, they write to us frequently, and we've recognized a few of the ones who are ardent followers, and we write back to them, and we take critique from them, we take advice from them.
We have a great example of a person who started as a fan. His name is Gokul. He started as a fan, and he was one of the person who got us here.